Finding deep, full inhales through the nose and long, slow exhales out of the nose with that slight constriction at the back of your throat. Relaxing shoulders, relaxing hips, relaxing the neck and the jaw. Maybe noticing how you feel mentally in this moment. Then on your next exhale, slowly begin to walk the hands over to the right side of your mat, lengthening out through the left side body. Relax back into that left hip, relax neck, relax jaw. If this child's pose is too deep for you, you can always rest on a bolster, a pillow, rolled up blanket, even a yoga block. Allowing yourself to soften down. Inhale begins to bring the hands back through center. Pause for a moment. Maybe bending at the elbows, bringing the hands to prayer overhead. Relaxing that chest down a little bit deeper. Gently release those hands down. Next inhale takes you over to the left side of you. Same thing. As you come over to this side, noticing any differences, right? Is this side a little tighter? Are you feeling a little more resistance? Noticing any places that you are holding on to tension, maybe neck, jaw. And slowly start to bring those hands back through center. Pausing in this child's pose. Maybe setting an intention for this practice today. What do you need from this? What did you come to your mat looking for? It doesn't have to be this deep, meaningful thing. It can be. It's lovely when it is, but it can just be something simple like I don't want my back to hurt anymore. So as you manifest that intention, make sure that it is positive, it's full of love. So if the back is hurting, maybe you say, in this moment, I am healed, I am healing. Something along those lines, just as an option. We'll begin to make our way up into a neutral tabletop, stacking the shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Lift and activate through the lowest part of your belly. Finding some cats and cows. Inhale starts to lengthen the heart forward, but lift the core. Exhale, curl up and in. Drop the crown of the head down. Inhale rolls us forward. Exhale, curl up and in, and just really articulating that movement through each vertebrae. 3 more rounds. Explore, expand. Moving with that breath, slow, no rush. after you've made your way to that final round, we'll come back into a neutral space. Landing in that tabletop, start to take your hands off your mat to the right side of you. Plant them where you can land comfortably and then look back to the right foot. So you're making like a giant C shape out of the body. Slowly bring hands back through center. Use the core as you transition. And then just swish the hips side to side. So this movement is very like serpentine-like. Starting to wake up the outer hips. Starting to move into our sacral chakra. And then we'll begin to walk our hands over to the left side of us. Find that place to land, making that big side body stretch here. And begin to look back to your feet to the best of your ability. So there's no reason to force or struggle here. Find the edge of your flexibility and breathe into that sensation that shows up. Breathe into that resistance. Slowly start to make your way back to center. Belly is engaged. Ground down through those hands and feet. And then again, take that swish in the hips side to side. Just noticing what's showing up for you physically. Where are the sensations lying? What's showing up for you mentally? You know, any distractions that might be showing up. And that's all okay, right? And we're gonna, thank you. And we're gonna tuck our toes, find our way to our first downward facing dog. Lift those hips up and back. Be sure to relax the neck and the head and maybe walk this dog out, bending one knee and then the other. Can you breathe a little bit deeper here? Where's the tightness in the legs? Is it in the neck? Is it in the shoulders? Check it out. Soften the knees. Look between the hands. Slowly walk up, forward fold at the top of your mat. Each time you pick your foot up off the ground, think about lifting with your belly. Lift. Lift. And when we fold here, knees can be super bent. You can always have your yoga block, drop your head. Take a little bit of movement here, swaying side to side, or it may feel good to inhale up, exhale, fold. Give yourself about 5 rounds to just really explore where the tightness is first. You know, here's mine. And then how can I relax it so I can bring this flexibility, this stretch up into my upper body as well. Right, so your legs don't have to be straight. Let go of that mindset. Give your body kindness in this moment, and it will work better for you if you're kind to it. Last breath here. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, pull the belly button to the spine. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. So we lift with our core first, hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, empty out your breath, drop that head down, relax the neck. Nod the head, yes. Turn it side to side, no. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands over to the right side of you. So this is where we can use that block again. Drop the head down so the back of the neck is nice and long. Again, my knees are a little soft here, a little bent. You You'll notice where that sensation is coming from for you. Breathe and try to soften the muscles around that area. Slowly start to make your way back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Make your way over to the left side of you. No rushing into that shape. Find the edges and then breathe into them so they can soften with you. Back of the neck is long. Slowly start to come back through center. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Take a super deep bend in your knees. Coming into a toe squat here. So just stretching out the bottoms of the feet. You can stay with the hands to the ground, or you can start to bring the hands up to the thighs for a little toe squat here. Align through the spine. And then gently, you can always use a block or hands to the earth. Bring your knees down to the ground so they can go one at a time, or they can go both at a time. With our knees here, you can probably already tell we're stretching out the bottoms of the feet. Maybe rock to the right, rock to the left. Trying to get into that pinky toe. We're almost there. Relax the shoulders. Notice where the tension's creeping up into your body. Maintain that ease in your breath. Last breath. Shift forward, untuck those toes, and have a seat back on the heels. Hands are going to come behind us, and maybe you're already feeling a quad stretch here and you stay right here. If you want to add a little bit, we're going to start to walk back. Step over Peanut a little bit more. There we go. And then think about a cat spine. So we're sending our tailbone down to the backs of our knees and lengthening out the tops of the quad here. Now, if you have all the space, you can always lay all the way back here. My quads are tight, so I'm going to pause here. Energetically, I'm sending the knees down to the ground, and my hips are tilting towards the sky, not lifting up, because that would be lifting up, right? So tilting towards the sky. And then shoulders are back and down, neck is neutral. Not a favorite place of mine, so I really continually scan my body to notice where I'm kind of hiding the tension. So take a breath in and out. Another breath in and out. We're going to take two more here. So just notice where the mind wants to go and kindly bring it back to your intention. Relax into that intention. Slowly start to bring yourself up. If you're in a bit of a back bend, really be sure to pull in through the core as you shift your weight back forward. Let's get off of those feet. Tilt into a modified tabletop. Tuck the toes. We're coming back onto our heels. Just to transition into our forward fold. Hands come to the earth. Lift the hips high to the sky. Drop the head and the neck down. Might feel really good to pedal that out. It's an intense stretch on the feet. That's an intense stretch on the quads. So just notice. Notice where the mind is. Notice where the emotions are. And don't judge them. But if they're out of line with your intention, just kindly bring them back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to take our left foot all the way to the back of our mat, runner's lunge. Getting nice and long through that body. Hands can be on blocks here. The ground is just a little too far away at the moment. Lengthen out as the back knee starts to come down to the ground, and then pause for a moment. One of the things I like to check in here, number one, I already had my shoulders up by my ears, so I drop them down. But the next thing is just like a millimeter shift to the right and to the left. It might be closer to an inch. Just explore how the back, that left hip, is feeling in this space. Now, if you're feeling it mostly in the hamstring, you're still going to benefit from a gentle rock side to side. It's not only encouraging us to relax, but it's also showing us, whoa, when I go a little bit more turned out with that back leg, I'm tighter, so that's more inner thigh, or I start to go a little bit to the left, and that's going to be more outer thigh. Just paying attention to what shows up. All right, gang, we're going to start to shift back into a split prep. So lift up through the belly. Hips start to work their way back so that the right hip is even with the left hip, and the left hip is right on top of the left knee. Top of the head lengthens towards the top of that right foot. So now we're getting into a little bit more of that lower back. So if you're just feeling it in the hamstring, soften the knee a little bit and try to hinge at the hips more, sending the tailbone away from you. Top of the head starts to drop towards the top of that foot, lengthening out the entire back side of the body from the heel to the crown. Use your breath to soften those sensations. Slowly start to shift your weight forward into that modified lunge. Finding a twist from here. So left hand is going to be down, right hand comes up to your knee. Lengthen. Might feel good to start to twist and reach back as you drop the left hip closer towards the ground. If that's starting to happen here, maybe that right foot turns out to the right side, keeping that knee and toe in the same directions as opposed to twisting from that knee joint. Not good, right? Be mindful that you're not dumping into that left shoulder. Slowly come back into that runner's lunge. Tuck the back toes and we'll gently step up to the top of our mat forward fold. So use your core through that transition. That will also help to build strength in your core through your balance, through your transitions, and that will hopefully benefit low back pain in the future. Once you land in that fold, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Take a deep bend in your left knee, left hand to the earth or a block, right hand to the sky. Chest is forward, tailbone back, and then you can play with where the head begins to go. Don't want to build any tension up there. The block is too far, then maybe forearm to the thigh. Now we're trying to get into this space here, so any of these areas can be tight. Be mindful that you're not forcing this posture. Exhale, top hand down. Drop through the head, relax the neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Take a deep bend in the right knee. Left hand lifts to the sky. Tailbone forward. Tailbone back, chest forward. That would be not as fun of a stretch, right? Think about lengthening arms in both directions Neck is soft and neutral. Exhale, top hand down, drop through the back of the neck, the top of the head. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. We're going to slide our right foot to the back of our mat. Find that alignment with the left knee on top of the ankle as you wiggle and shift, finding that best alignment for today. Woo! I can already tell in my body that this side is a little bit tighter than the last side, so that's always something to pay attention to. Back knee comes down to the ground. And then we'll take those little micro shifts, right? Just a little bit over to the right. Keeping that belly lifted and engaged, a little bit over to the left. Listen. Pay attention. Don't judge. Remind your body that you're doing this on purpose, that it's okay to relax. Last breath. We'll begin to shift back into that split prep. So pull belly button away from the ground. Shift back. Lengthen top of the head towards the top of that left foot. Finding balance in the body. Release the back of the neck. And then breathe, right? This is all about an exploration. It might not look like a whole lot of things change while we hold this posture, but if you're using the breath to soften the muscles, then you're getting deeper into this space and you're releasing tension. Last breath. We'll start to shift forward back into that modified lunge. Taking our twist from here, right hand will stay down, left hand to your knee, or begin to reach it back. Remember, if you really take that twist, take the left toes out to the side or so they're in the same direction as your left knee. Don't want to tweak or torque on that knee joint. Ease through that upper body. Slowly we start to come back into that runner's lunge. Tucking your toes, we'll shift forward into that forward fold, lift, and land. Inhale, halfway lifts us once again. Exhale, fold, grab a ragdoll arm bind, and sway that upper body side to side. Gently release those hands down. Next, inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, shoulders back, belly in. Exhale, fold, take a super deep bend in the knees. Go ahead and have a seat on the bum. Whew, sorry, buddy. Bringing the feet together, knees apart for a bound angle. Begin to bounce those knees. Encouraging softness in those hips, like the feeling that I'm feeling right now is they're super tight right there. So instead of focusing on that, I'm just focusing on I can relax. I'm not forcing my body to do anything. I'm just gently bouncing And then eventually most of that stuff starts to soften, right? Not all of it. I'm still practicing. We'll pause here for a moment and then inhale, lift the heart space, lift the belly, pull the shoulders back and down. Inhale brings us up nice and tall. Reach to the crown of the head, pause for a moment, feel that energy that you created. Exhale, forward fold, shift forward at the hips, support yourself with any props necessary, and begin to melt down into this space. Last few moments, see if you can really encourage the space around the sacrum and the lowest part of your back to release and open down. Inhale begins to rise us up nice and tall. Pause for a moment. And begin to plant those feet. Hips distance apart. Gentle windshield wiper of the knees side to side. And staying here, we're going to let the knees fall over to the right side of us. Ooh, that's a tight hip on the top. So lifting up through the chest, encouraging that left knee closer towards the earth. So maybe if that's really uncomfortable, because we never want to feel any pain on the inside of our knee, you can always support yourself with your blocks here. Anyway, also a bolster, a pillow, a blanket, whatever, really, to support yourself. So again, our feet are hips distance apart, not close together. You won't get that same stretch. Lift up. So sometimes when our hips are tight or our quads are tight, it can also be causing some low back pain. So just breathe softness into this stretch. And for me, this stretch doesn't feel as muscular as some of the other ones, like split prep or a quad stretch. This feels like more that I'm getting into some connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, stuff like that. And that stuff does get tight. So we're going to hold this a little bit longer because it does take a little bit longer to stretch out those areas. So if you need to come out for a second, give yourself a little break and come back in, please do. Right? This practice, this yoga practice is not about forcing our way through a situation. It's about learning how to find ease in each moment, you know, and then we take that off of our mat. Do we want to force our way through life, or do we want to find ease? So as we've sat here a little bit longer, I can feel the softness around that area for me. And then the stretch is also getting a little bit more intense as well. My mind wants to say, when are we coming out of this? But I'm just choosing, again, to breathe and know that this is, not only is this good for my body, but I'm also retraining the way that my brain processes uncomfortable things. Last 3 breaths. Woo, slowly start to bring those knees back to center. Take a moment to pause. We're going to move up into a reverse tabletop, so you may bring your feet a little bit closer. We're going to press into the feet, press into the hands, lift and open up the heart. Big breath in. One more. Slowly start to bring your way back down. Find a crisscross applesauce. Let's get off of those hands and shoulders for a moment. Flex the wrists down. Maybe give them a little circle. And then bring the palms down to the knees for a moment. Close the eyes and let's come back into our heart space, back into our intention for practice today. Realign through the spine by sending the tailbone down and reaching out through the crown of the head. Slowly bringing the eyes back into your space. Then we'll inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, twist over to the right. So right hand comes behind us, left hand to our knee. Sit up tall, and then begin to look over that right shoulder if that's comfortable for you. If you can't quite grab your knee, grab a hold wherever you can. Slowly begin to come back through center. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, twist to the left. Left hand comes behind you. Right hand comes to your left knee. Sit up. Maybe look back. Relax down through the spine. Pull in through the belly. Inhale, brings hands back through center, lift. Exhale the hands back down to the knees, and we'll begin to find the other side. So plant the feet hips distance apart. Bring the hands behind you and start to let the knees fall to the left side of you. We notice, where that tightness lands in the beginning. Don't judge it, just see it. Take breaths. Another one of the visualizing techniques that I've been working with lately is trying to see the sensation, like pinpoint the loudest one, right? And then soften the area around that space. It takes focus, it takes practice, but it does get easier and easier over time. We're just unlearning these unhealthy ways that we carry our body, or carry tension or carry stress, and we're relearning or reprogramming a new way to carry ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally. See if any tension has creeped up into the upper body. Relaxing into those hips. Last 3 breaths. Slowly bring the knees back to center. Pause for a moment. Get off of those wrists as we find an easy seated position. In other ways, you can just flip them over and start to sink back into that space. Giving a little elbow softness here. And then come back out of that. We'll pause again for a moment, palms down to the knees, maybe close your eyes. Just notice how you feel as you connect. Tailbone down to the earth, crown of the head to the sky. Slowly bringing the eyes back into your space. We'll inhale, left arm up and over, side body stretch here. You know, you can go however you need to with this grounded arm, but encourage this left hip down as you reach up through the left side body. So whatever is tight there, causing any low back pain, yeah, we're trying to soften, lengthen it out. Then we'll slowly start to curl down through center, drop to the top of the head. Walk hands towards the center of your mat. Lengthen out, 3 breaths, fold. Slowly start to walk the hands back towards you as you sit up nice and tall. Lengthen that spine, and we'll head over to the other side. So left hand down, right arm up and over. Lengthen out. Neck is relaxed here. Grounding through that right hip. Last breath. We'll curl down from the top of the head. Slowly transitioning. You feel that low back as you move through these spaces. And then relax here. 3 breaths. Slowly begin to make your way back up to a nice tall seat. And then we'll make our way onto our backs. Finding reclined pigeon. Cross the right leg up and over the left. This may be enough for you today, or begin to pull that left knee towards you. If you have a deeper variation, feel free to take it. But we're gonna, my brain just farted. We're gonna move back to that same mentality we had earlier in that runner's lunge. Gentle shift to the side and back to the other side. Gentle shift, so you're just like rolling over all these different muscle groups, encouraging them to soften and release down. What's happening in the hip and the low back here. Be sure there's no tension up in the neck and the shoulders. Rocking side to side like you're in the ocean waves. Easing open that space. Last few moments in this space, just slow, rock, And then find a place to land. So by now you know where your tightest area is. Head over to that space. Pause in that stillness and relax again all the muscles around that area. Slowly release that hold just a little bit. Don't come all the way out of it. And we're going to take our sole of our right foot all the way to the left hip. Arms open out wide, spinal twist, or you can take that left hand to your knee, either pushing it away from you or pulling it towards you, depending on where you want this opening today. What can you let go of here? Last few moments. Slowly coming back to center. Take your time. Use your core to transition. Gently unwind those legs. Let's find a hip stand. Legs can be super straight, but whatever you're focusing on here, make sure that the low back and the sacrum is flat to the ground. So if you feel like the hips are lifting off the ground, realign there first, and then work towards stretching and lengthening behind the knees. Shoulders relaxed. You can take any variation of hip stand you like. Just getting our feet above our hearts. Knees slowly coming to the chest. Nice little squeeze here. And we'll take the other side. Left leg crosses up and over the right. That right foot can be planted to the ground or reach down for that right hamstring. Pull that towards you as you soften the low back, soften the shoulders. Begin to rock it side to side, just like you're floating in the ocean. Really exploring all those sensations. Just encouraging your body to soften, to let go of that tension. Last few moments, really check in, because we're going to land for a second. You know, where is that deepest sensation? You probably already know. I know I do. And then we'll find that space. Pause there. Now really encourage that area to relax, to release down. Last few moments. And then releasing that pull just a little bit so that you can bring that left foot all the way down to the ground, opening up to the left side. Choosing which way you need this stretch today. And landing in a place where you can relax. Last few moments. We'll bring our knees back through center. Gently unwind. Maybe roll them around a little bit, one direction and then the other. Then we'll find happy baby, grabbing the outer blades of the feet, ankles, shins, whatever you can get a hold of to pull those knees open and wide with the soles of the feet to the sky. You can even take peace fingers around the big toes. Just avoid sickling at the ankle. So keep the soles of the feet to the sky. How can you lengthen the spine here? How can you relax through the low back? Got 2 more breaths here. Slowly start to come out of that shape. Pull the knees into the chest. Maybe give yourself a big hug for getting on your mat today. And then taking any final movement you need to take before you complete practice today. We've done it. We're here. So you can find Shavasana on your back, side, or belly. I'm going to join you in a seated position. So as you relax down into this space, let go. Let go of your practice, let go of distractions, and allow yourself to really begin to rest and heal. Closing the eyes, we take a big full inhale in through the nose. Exhale it out of the mouth. Shavasana. And slowly beginning to come back to your breath. Finding movement in your fingers and your toes, just gently begin to wake up the body. It might feel good to reach arms overhead, lengthening out fingers away from toes like you're waking up first thing in the morning. Notice how you feel in this moment. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. Just check in with yourself without any judgment at all whatsoever, right? And then as you're ready, we'll slowly begin to make our way up into an easy seated position, bringing the hands to heart center, closing out this practice in a seat of gratitude. Gratitude for these bodies, this gift. It carries us around every single moment of every day of our lives. Gratitude for this opportunity to move and breathe today and the choice you made to take care of yourself. Gratitude for the intention that you set for your practice. Right? Because now that intention is yours. You've done the work. And then we'll bring the thumbs to the forehead, finding gratitude for one another in this moment. Namaste, friends. Namaste, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today here at Cat Harmon Yoga. As you can see, we always have tons of distractions, and I have learned that when you can breathe through things like that, that translates off of your mat as well. So I hope that you aren't allowing these frustrations to bother your practice. I know that I used to whenever I was filming these Zoom classes way back in March. But what I've found now is that patience and that kindness for the present moment that I've found through breathing through distractions or breathing through resistance has really translated off of my mat as well. So I hope that you are enjoying these classes. And if you are, please click subscribe to the video, to the YouTube channel. And if you would like to join any of our live classes, which sometimes are not where the train is, but you can head over to my website at catharmonyoga.com. It has my weekly schedule and also links in our upcoming workshops as well. Namaste, friends. Have a beautiful, magical day.